Hello, you're watching another video from fantasyfootballscouts.co.uk. This is our regular Friday look at the press conferences where we find out the latest team news, and joining me is Neale. Neale, welcome.
How are you doing, Joe? All right?
Yeah, good, good. Although I'm a bit concerned about some parts of my team going in, but also I've been a bit concerned by some comments that Jurgen Klopp's been making. So, yeah, what's he been saying, and what implications may that have possibly this weekend or going forward?
Yeah, so he gave a press conference this morning. So, as you know, Liverpool's had the same team for the first three games of the season. And when asked about his consistent selection, he said that, I quote, that will not happen too often from now on in the future. Now, I wouldn't rush to panic just now because Liverpool's got this game at the weekend and then there's the international break. But after they return from international duty, I believe they have 6 or 7 games consecutively from then until the October break, all played on a Saturday and then the midweek. So I think that's when you'll see the rotation in operation. There might be one or two changes this weekend, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's unchanged again.
Okay, so going forward, game week 5, game week 6, because they've got matches with Spurs there. They've got
Yep,
two matches with Chelsea, one in the League Cup and one in the
that's
league,
right.
plus Paris Saint-Germain, I believe. So yeah, they can't all play in all of those games. So you've got to
Yeah,
hope
for
that.
those who are sort of thinking about ditching the Liverpool assets, the one good fixture they've got in the league from game week 5 till 8, I think, is the Southampton home game on September 22nd. Now, that could be the game in which we see quite a lot of rotation because either side of that, you've got PSG in the Champions League and then you've got Chelsea in the AFL Cup on the following Tuesday. So that Southampton home game, which is the most appealing of all their fixtures in the next 5 or so game weeks, that's the one where you could see the rotation in operation.
I mean, I guess we've got to hope that both they and Chelsea are going to be rotating in the League Cup. So you've got to hope that. But yeah, you never know. You never know. Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned, but as you say, I'm not too concerned about this weekend. So for Liverpool, just sum up, we reckon it's going to be unchanged again.
I would think so, yeah. I mean, the only real possibilities would be perhaps Henderson back into midfield, but Milner and Wijnaldum have played really well first three games of the season. That's not really going to affect many people's fantasy teams anyway. Maybe a change at fullback, but I'm really clutching at straws and it's pure speculation. I would think maybe Klein for Alexander Arnold, maybe in the future, not necessarily this weekend, but I think we should be fine this weekend.
Okay, and I mean, another player I'm interested in is Arnautovic, player in my own team, and we were a bit, us owners were a bit concerned that he might still be injured. So there was a bit of confusion yesterday. There was a press conference going on. This is ahead of their game against Wolves. So there was a press conference, and we were getting some mixed signals. So what's going on there, and can I feel assured as an Arnautovic owner that he'll play?
I feel pretty assured. I think the confusion was so Pellegrini started off his press conference by saying that Arnautovic had a problem behind his knee last weekend, but that he trained since Tuesday with the rest of the squad and that he seems okay. The confusion thereafter was one reporter asked if he was going to be out this weekend, to which Pellegrini, I think, and I hope this is right for your sake, missed it out on the pitch, to which he replied, yes, yes.
Ah,
Say there's no problems. And I think, yes, Sky Sports were one media outlet who interpreted those remarks as being Arnautovic won't play this weekend. But I think we're pretty sure now that he will feature. I mean, even West Ham on the Twitter account put up almost like a clarification a few hours later saying that, he's fit basically. There was a picture of him training with Mark Noble. So I'll be pretty confident, Joe, of
good.
Arnautovic playing this weekend.
That feels good, yeah, because you get these press conferences, and it is things do get lost in translation, particularly with foreign managers. English isn't their first language, and you get people interpreting these things. And when you see the full quotes or proper translation, you think, hang on a minute, that's completely different. But I feel assured now, so
Yeah, I think in the rush to get these things out, I think a lot of, I'm one myself. I've just jot the quotes down and take them in isolation, and read too much into those quotes. But in context, the rest of the press conference, it seems like he's going to be okay.
Okay. Another player I've got, another player a lot of people have, Danny Ings. Now, I felt confident he was going to play, but I'm now slightly less confident. What's been going on there?
He's really the only injury worry Southampton have. He's got a blister on his foot, which doesn't sound that serious a problem.
He's not used to playing. That's what his problem is.
Apparently, this is a recurring thing as well, because I had a check back, and in the summer, in pre-season for Liverpool, he had severe blisters on his foot then as well. So this might be something that rolls on. Now, he was managed in the early stages of this week, but he's trained on Thursday, which is when Hughes gave his press conference. So they will assess him for the weekend. I would hope he's going to be okay. Still a chance he might have his game time managed as they did last weekend. I think he was withdrawn midway through the second half. But I'll be on standby just in case. If you're deliberating as a 50-50 call between Ings and somebody else in your squad, then that's definitely something to consider.
Okay, I'm slightly less happy about that news then. Now, what about Mourinho? Jose, he's had a tough week, awful loss to Spurs. He's put a brave face on it, battened down the hatches, them and us, and all of that has been coming out. So what's he been saying, particularly about some of the players that are available or not available?
Yeah, so Phil Jones, he's out of the game against Burnley this weekend. I don't think he's as widely owned as he was at the beginning of last season. So he's out, yes. Marco Rojo's back in training, but he won't feature, while Diogo Dalot, he's going to feature for the under-23s tonight. So he's one to watch after the international break.
With Jones being out, though, could that have a possible knock-on effect between other people? Could someone perhaps move in from midfield into defence? How could that work?
Yeah, we saw on Monday night, Ander Herrera played on the right-hand side of a central three in defence. Now, I'm not sure if Mourinho will stick with that formation. He might switch back to a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. But given the alternatives, Lindelof and Eric Bailly are the two who would possibly step in for Jones. Because I think Chris Smalling's place is pretty secure.
So now he didn't mention Bailly at all, and he didn't before the last match. But Bailly's not injured. So
no, and he wasn't.
What should we take with that for Bailly owners? Should they be worried?
I would be. I've shipped him myself.
Oh,
he was in my squad at the start of the season, and I got rid of him last week, which proved to be quite a good move because he wasn't even in the matchday squad on Monday night. So I think Lindelof.
So something happened then behind the scenes. Is that he's just out of favour?
Yeah, possibly. I haven't heard any whispers about any falling out or anything like that. But he wasn't alone in missing from the matchday squad on Monday. I think Pereira wasn't among the 18 either. I think that might have been just a reaction to what happened at Brighton the previous weekend. I think possibly Lindelof in for Jones, or you could see even Herrera alongside Smalling, perhaps.
Okay. I noticed that a big name at Spurs is out, and a big name at Arsenal is back.
Yes, Hugo Lloris is out tomorrow with a thigh injury. It's not going to be too serious, so he should be back after the international break. But he definitely won't play tomorrow. Moussa Sissoko was also injured for Spurs, but
it was Lloris was the big name. Sissoko.
Yeah.
Other, but what about Arsenal then? They've got one of their big name players is back.
Is this Mesut by any chance?
It is Mesut. Ill. Is he still or unlocked?
Yeah, he's recovered from the nasty strain of flu that he had last weekend. Whether he'll play or not is another question, because they've got quite a few options now in that central position. Aaron Ramsey played there last weekend. And then you've got the ongoing saga of whether Lacazette's going to start if he hasn't done this season.
We spoke about this last week, didn't we? We're still none the wiser.
We'll be here in game week 37 still speculating whether Lacazette's going to get a start this weekend. But
yeah, we think that Mkhitaryan and Aubameyang are safe. Özil back, obviously that's going to have ramifications for Ramsey, possibly. So still up in the air there. I guess if you don't own already one of those players that we've just mentioned, it might possibly pay to hold off. Apart from Mkhitaryan maybe and Aubameyang, but he's just dropped in price as well. So
Well, Mkhitaryan's the only Arsenal midfielder or attacker who's actually played all the minutes
yeah,
so far this season.
it,
I mean, even Aubameyang, who I had designs on in game week 1 for this run of fixtures. I mean, I'm staying well clear of him for the time being.
I think at the back though, Monreal, we think he's going to keep his place. I mean, they've got a real shortage of left backs, so he looks certain.
I would think so. Yeah, Lichtsteiner was talked up a couple of weeks ago, haven't we? Discussed this, but I mean, Monreal started the last 2, and he looks pretty secure. I mean, they're not particularly watertight at the back, but he does offer his usual goal threat going forward.
Great.
So, yeah.
Okay, well, thanks so much for that, Neil. Yeah, it's one of those days with the press conferences where it's kind of as you were. No big surprises, which is quite good. But we did have that Jurgen Klopp comment, which puts a bit of fear for the future. But for now, Neil, thanks a lot.
Not bother.